Hello, I'm Otto, and in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to spawn block a biter nest, how to prevent it from spawning biters. So one of the reasons why you might want to do this is if you were chasing the achievement, if I can find it real quick, keeping your hands clean, destroy your first enemy structure using artillery. Well, we know that artillery does not come until orange science, so it doesn't, you don't have access to it until you get to Vulcanus. Another reason why you might want to do this is you're eventually going to get to Gleba. You're going to want to make some overgrowth soil. Maybe you're going to want to make some productivity 3 modules or some biolabs. And you want to make sure that you have easy access to biters nearby, making you some eggs. That could be another potential reason why you would want to do this. So before we even get into how to actually block them, we need to be able to get in pretty close. So we're going to take some gun turrets, and I think we're just going to do 6. We're going to want to make a blueprint. So we're going to ignore unlisted targets, and we're just going to filter any and all of the biters that we might encounter. This includes the spitters and also the worms. The worms are not part of the achievement. We are only trying to not kill the spawners. So we're going to copy this and paste it across the board. And we are going to make a blueprint out of this. I already have one down here. So this is going to be a little cheaty because we're in editor mode, but I am going to show you like what that might look like out in the world. I've got a save file pretty early in the game that we're going to use and show like how this would work, especially with multiple spawners. So we are going to drop our blueprint, and normally you would be creeping up to this. So let's just pretend like we're going to creep up to this. You don't have to be this picky until you get like right up, pretty much right here. So you can just drop them as you normally might. I just ran out of ammo. And we just want to make sure that we can, keep the biters from spawning. So this is what these are going to do. And we're just going to use pipes because that's something that's, pretty cheap early on. So the way that I like to kind of deal with this is I like to start right here. So this is the first kind of tick where a biter might spawn. You can actually kind of see how they're pooling up in one area. That's because that's kind of the first area that they're going to pick to spawn if they don't really have anywhere else to spawn. So we're going to drop this here, and then we're going to move over in our third tile. We're going to place another one. 3 up and 3. We're just going to place them like this. So you will need to go 3 pipes out using the same format and just start filling in every third tile. And you can already start to see that they are now shifting where they are spawning. Now they're going to start spawning over here or maybe up top. And now they are only going to start spawning right here. This is the last tile. So once we place that down, oh no, they can spawn down here. Sorry, I missed some. I'm going to shift paste this in. Shift control this in. Okay, now this is the last one. At this point, this spawner will no longer be spawning any biters, and we can remove the gun turrets that we have. You can also make a blueprint out of this as well. That way, anytime you come up to a biter nest, if there were multiples, you can just hover over it and boom, just click on top of it. If you wanted to, you could also make the blueprint with something that is a comparable size. Captive biter spawner as an example. So you can flop that right in the middle. Make a blueprint out of this. So that way, anytime you come over, here, let me just get rid of some of the, and just do this. So that way, anytime you come up to them, you can just make sure to line this up like this and shift, click that down. Obviously, that's just going to ghost in what you need, but it'll at least give you a quick idea on where you need to place your pipes. You could also use walls. Really, you can use any structure as long as it prevents them from spawn. So I don't think a belt works, but you know, it could be inserters. It could literally be whatever you have on you. I just prefer to use pipes because they're relatively cheap pretty early in the game. Okay, so we're going to go into another save file and we're going to actually practice this. We're going to do this on the fly out in the world. Okay, so I am in a save world with just a little bit of a starter base. I have some red ammo being collected and I have a couple of biter nests up here. So I'm just gonna, from here, I'm gonna just go ahead and grab my 2 blueprints. And we are going to go ahead and ghost in everywhere that we need. So I'm just gonna do that real quick to get a little setup. And this is everywhere that we're going to need to be placing pipes to prevent all 4 of these from spawning. So I'm also going to get this pretty close in, maybe another one, and just in case, I think I'm going to ghost one up here too. So we need to try to work our way into this. So we're going to start out, we can be, you know, we can just do like a standard creep method at this point. At this point, though, we definitely need to make sure to go over our blueprints. I think just to be on the safe side, I'm just gonna go ahead and place these up here. Yep, good idea. Okay, and now we can just start placing our pipes. All right, and there we go. So at this point, there are not going to be any more biters spawning. We can safely remove our gun turrets, and there you go. That is how that is going to work. And that, my friends, is how you spawn block a biter nest. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. That is going to be it for me. I will see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.